Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandrea Louw and I'll be your host for today. Now it's Monday, it's a brand new week filled with brand new opportunities. Now in our interview for today, we chat to Ivin Lombardt, who is the CEO of Usakos, who talks about the new municipal complex constructed at a cost of 17 million Namibian dollars. And this is the third biggest in the Erongo region after that of Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. Now today I join you from the Napolitana restaurant here in Swakopmund. I'm also going to bring you the weather and tides, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Now we bring you the news from the Napolitana restaurant in Swakopmund. So if you're in the mood for some good pizza or pasta or whatever your heart desires, this is the place to be. Now it was quite a busy weekend on the crime front in the Erongo region. Now to begin with, the police are investigating an attempted murder after two known suspects cut their way into a tent at the Otoya informal settlement. Now, residents of the former Twala local location were relocated to Otoya after fire gutted 153 homes and claimed the life of a one-year-old boy in July 2020. Now, according to Deputy Commissioner Erastus Ikuyu, two suspects wearing balaclavas cut open a tent at the informal settlement while a woman, 32, and a 2-week-old baby boy were asleep inside. Now, this happened early on Sunday morning. Now, the suspects gained entrance and tied up the victim's hand and feet. They also put sand in the victim's mouth and placed the victim's child in a plastic bag before they fled the crime scene. Now, one of the neighbors woke up when she heard the baby crying. She went to investigate and discovered the tied up mother and the baby in the bag. She then alerted the other neighbors, who then in turn alerted the police. Now, the victim was taken to the Walvis Bay hospital for treatment and observation. She is in a stable condition and her baby boy is in good health. Now, Okuya said that it's not yet clear whether the suspects have taken something from the tent and their motive is unknown. Now, Olga Barissimus, a committee member representing the interests of the residents of the Otoya people, said that the interest of the Otoya residents, said that they would like to see a mobile station, police station at the settlement. Now, after this incident, we like to have members of the police force or security members to be placed near the settlement so that we can easily report crime-related issues. Now, our police officials said that they will intensify random patrols in the area and its surroundings. Now, the community members are also organizing themselves to start an anti-crime group. Now, anyone with information regarding this incident can contact Deputy Commissioner Ikuyu at 081-246-4757 or Sergeant Hamukanda at 081-792-5454 or report it to the nearest police station. Now, this incident follows barely a week after a woman was raped at gunpoint in her own home in Usakos. Now, the suspect is also still at large. Now, yesterday, some of the residents of the Otoya informal settlement decided to sit around a fire and keep awake to prevent something like this from happening again. Now, in other crime incidents, reports were received at the Arandis police station from motorists on Saturday at about 20 minutes to 9 that there was a man walking next to the B2 road between Arandis and Swakopmund, pelting the windows and windscreens of cars with stones. Now, according to Ukuyo, the matter was attended to the police, who found a young man about 22 years old, also about 22 kilometers from Arandis towards Swakopmund. Now, 5 vehicles were found at the scene with windscreen smashed, allegedly by the apprehended men. Now, at that time, the person was already apprehended by the public when the police arrived. Now, he had bruises all over his body. It was also discovered that the person is mentally ill, residing at a house in Tulinawa, Montesa. He was taken to the Arandis Health Center and was transferred to the Swakopmund State Hospital for treatment on Sunday. Now, 2 drivers reported the incident to the Arandis police station. No occupants of the vehicles were injured and no charges have been laid against the suspect yet. Now, his family was also traced and informed of the incident. Now, the police are also investigating a case of kidnapping and rape in Arandis. Now, the suspect, which is 40 years old, allegedly went to the house of the victim, which is 37 years old, and dragged her to his house where he raped her on Thursday between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Now, the suspect was arrested and will appear at the Swakopmund Magistrates Court on Monday, which is today, and the investigations into the matter continues. Now, the police are also investigating a case of rape in Tubuses. Now, the suspect allegedly unlawfully and unintentionally threatened the victim, 14 years old, with a knife in a field, raped her and impregnated her, according to Ikuyo. Now, the incident occurred between April 2020 and May 2020 in Tubus at a farm at Tubuses. Now, the family confronted the victim when they realized that she is pregnant, and then reported the matter to the police. Now, the suspect is known to the victim, but he has not been traced yet or has been arrested yet. Now, a case of housebreaking with the intent to rape, and rape is also being investigated in Omachete. Now, it's alleged that the suspect broke into a 17-year-old victim's house on Wednesday at about 11 o'clock at a village house between Chingwindi village and Ozanga village. He dragged her into the bush at knife point and raped her. The victim is staying with a grandmother and a younger sister in the house. The grandmother is the one who alerted the neighbors about the incident, and they called the police. Now, the suspect, which is Muni Kadiondo Ruzo, who's 26-year-old, who is from a neighboring village, was arrested and identified. Now, he appeared in the Omarudus Magistrates Court on Friday, and he was not granted bail, and the case was postponed for further investigation. Now, 4 suspects were also arrested for dealing in cannabis in Arandas. Now, the value of the drugs that were found, or cannabis that were found, is 17,000 Namibian dollars. Now, the 3 men aged 20 and 1 22-year-old were arrested and appear at the Swakopmund Magistrates Court here in Swakopmund on Monday, which is today. Now, that is what we have for your news segment, but you can also check out our website at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na for this article and so much more.
Yes, we are in the company of Mr. Ivin Lombardt, the CEO of Usakos. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, thanks.
Yes, you've recently moved into new offices. Tell me about the construction process and the costs.
Okay, it is true that the Usakos Town Council is now hosted in a new, very fancy office state-of-the-art office space, which at the moment I can assure you is the 3rd biggest town council office or municipal office space in the Erongo region, after Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. This office was, the construction for this office started at least 4 to 5 years back, and we initially ran into some minor problems here and there, but it started and was completed in the middle of 2019. And we moved in at the beginning of 2020. At the end of the project, the construction cost stood at about 17 million Namibian dollars for the entire construction process, which includes the engineer's cost, which includes the architectural cost, which includes the actual construction, as well as the purchase of the land, and so on and so forth. So we are very excited about being in this new office space. It enables us to, in the first place, have enough space to be able to conduct the business of the municipality in a way that is not hindered by space or by technology or other issues that might be in the way of how the municipality conducts its work. For an example, here we have a proper customer care and customer service desk that is able to service clients that come into the office, which we were not able to do on the other side. We also have a proper and well-equipped cash hall where people can extensively pay at their comfort for the services that the municipality is providing. It also helps to be here because the office is big enough that we can separate the different departments.
Yes.
For example, we have the administrative block, which is where the CEO sits. And then we have the technical block, which is where the technical manager, together with the environmental health, as well as the housing and properties and town planner and all of these people sit. And then we also have the finance wing,
Yes.
where all the financial people sit there, meaning including the manager, the accountants, the assistant accountants, and so on and so forth. So that's what it's able to provide us. At the same time, the facility provides us ample space for our chamber, where the council meets and is able to conduct its business. Also, the facility is big enough for us to be able to attract potential sort of people who want to use the facility, whether it is for workshops or for meetings or for all kinds of activities that they want to conduct. For example, we also have a training room where people can hire it and be able to use that space. So to that end, the building, the new office space is perfect for us. We can now also comfortably fill the posts that are open, so that more and more of the offices can be occupied, as opposed to the other side where we kept wondering where are we going to place people and so on and so forth. It's also important to mention that the funding for the project, for the construction of this building, was funded by the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development.
Yes.
In its entirety. It did not come out of the council's pocket.
Yes.
However, for some of the minor things that are left, such as getting new furniture, getting in blinds and landscaping and things like that, that will come out of the council's pocket. But we will do that over time.
Yes.
We are not necessarily in a hurry with it.
Yes. So what is special about your new building in terms of technology and
Yes. What is special about it is, as I said, it affords us a platform that is easy to bring on technology. For example, you will notice that the whole building is actually fitted out with all kinds of cables and the sort of the bandwidth or the basics in terms of being able to bring in sort of technological advancements.
Yes.
Also, we have a proper server room which is monitored constantly. We in fact, even if electricity shuts down in the rest of the town, we have a backup generator. We should be able to keep going with our supply and so on for at least 8 to 10 hours before our generator gives in. So it gives us the basic infrastructure on which to build in terms of making sure that we are able to bring in proper technology that can because the thing about bringing in technology in this setup is that it can help us to cut costs. At the moment, there's a lot of things that we do whereby we still do it manually and so on and so forth. But with this background and with this basic infrastructure in place, we should be able to get around some of those difficulties.
Streamline operations. Yes. And then for your residents, what does it mean for them?
It means first and foremost, in terms of where the office is located, that it's easily accessible from wherever you are in the town of Usakos. You should be able to reach the municipal building in fairly a short time.
Yes.
So that's first and foremost what it does, because previously we were based on the other side of the town, and for certain residents it was actually quite an effort to get there. but we have moved closer to those that used to go very far. And others are also able to utilize. So in terms of location, it's perfect.
Centralized.
It's perfect for us. Secondly, all the services.
Yes.
It's almost like a one-stop shop. So whatever services our residents want to access, they should be able to get it at this office.
Yes.
Whether it is they want to submit applications for land or for other activities, whether it is they want to submit building plans, whether it is they want to inquire, about
Yes.
accounts,
Yes.
whether it is they want to pay their accounts or whatever the case might be, it is fairly easy to access. For example, we have now acquired the services of the First National Bank to ensure that we are able to take electronic payments,
Yes.
both in terms of EFTs, but also when people come and pay with debit or credit cards. And we have that platform properly set up. However, if, for example, some of our residents find it that the bank or the ATMs are far, they can actually come to the office as well.
Yes.
And they can be assisted here at the office. For example, you don't necessarily have to go to the ATM to withdraw an e-wallet.
Yes.
You can actually come to the Usakos Town Council and be able to withdraw an e-wallet.
Wow.
We are also planning to get onto other platforms such as PayPulse, which is a product that is being sold by Standard Bank, whereby it's making it easy in terms of being able to pay your municipal accounts.
Yes.
You simply go on the platform and you put in all the information, and you just select and let it pay whatever is outstanding on your account. Even when you come, you don't have to necessarily go through the strenuous process of having to necessarily swipe.
Yes.
You can just tap your card onto a device, and then that amount is withdrawn as well. So those are the kinds of technological
innovations, yes,
that we are able to provide.
Finally, Mr. Lombardt, what is your message to the private sector and residents of the town?
What I can say to private sector, especially our SMEs, our small and medium enterprises, is that, you see, Usakos is a town. We call it a junction town, or a sort of a midway town. It's a town that is in the middle of our B2 road between Walvis Bay and Windhoek, and it especially lends itself to SMEs being able to provide certain types of services, especially whether it is tourism, whether it is in the sector of agriculture, whether it is retail, and whatever type of service, IT and so on, that SMEs can provide. Usakos is actually the appropriate town. Also, warehousing. As I said, it's a midway town, so there's a lot of companies that would like to store their products somewhere in the middle and be able to use this as a distribution point and so on. SMEs can come in and provide such services. So I think a lot of our SMEs should take advantage of that opportunity, and we are particularly welcoming SMEs. And we will help them to acquire land, we will help them with the registration processes and so on and so forth, so that they are able to provide these kinds of services.
Yes. For your residents?
Our residents, I think our residents are in for a good ride over the next 2 to 3 years. I know that it has taken a bit of time for us to get to where we are, and I'm also aware of the difficulties that people have experienced in terms of unemployment, in terms of shortages of certain services and so on and so forth. But I think Usakos is slowly but surely picking up. If you just consider the way our main street used to look like about 2 years ago and you look at it now,
Yes.
there's a vast difference in terms of the different kinds of services and activities that are starting to become available. I think that upward momentum and that
Yes.
upward trajectory is going to keep going, and I think our residents should really prepare themselves to be able to take advantage of some of those opportunities that will come. We know that previously we have chased some of the big projects, making sure that or trying to make sure that we have big projects that are coming into Usakos and so on, but some of them did not materialize, not as a fault of the council, but because also the economic downturn and
Yes.
corona and all of these things that have come into to affect the way we do business. But I think that upward momentum we can see is generally is going, and we are able to see that also just by the way our residents pay for the services that are provided.
Yes.
They are able to pay for those services more and more, and the amounts of money that they bring and pay and so on is showing that there is something happening to the economy of the town.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Add us on Facebook and search for us on YouTube.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter.
Contact us via WhatsApp. Our daily show starts with the Afrikaans program Soggens met Shaal, perfect for the Afrikaans lovers.
Then it's time for the women's magazine program, The Mid-Morning Breeze with Olivia.
And for the youngsters and game fanatics, join Cody on the 3 to 6 drive. West Coast FM, your host at the coast.
And now for your weather and tides. Kicking off with your tides, we had low tide this morning at 20 minutes past 6. We'll have high tide at 10 minutes to 1 this afternoon. Low tide will be again at 7 o'clock this evening. And then high tide will be at a quarter past 1 during the early hours of tomorrow morning. Now your best fishing time is unfortunately past. It was between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock this morning. Now for your temperatures, sunrise, we had sunrise at this morning 20 minutes past 6. Sunset will be at 12 minutes past 7. Now this is more or less your sunrise and sunset times for all the major towns in the Erongo region. Now the maximum temperature expected for today in Walvis Bay is 21 degrees Celsius with a westerly wind of 15 kilometers per hour. Now a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius is expected for tomorrow. Now in Swakopmund, maximum temperature for today is 18 degrees Celsius with a 11 kilometer per hour westerly wind, and then for tomorrow a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. For Walvis Bay, maximum temperature for today is 18 degrees Celsius and then with a southwesterly wind of 11 kilometers per hour and a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. Now for Arandis, maximum temperature for today is 30 degrees Celsius with a southwesterly wind of 11 kilometers per hour and then a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius is expected for tomorrow. Now for Usakos, maximum temperature for today is 39 degrees Celsius with the east-southeast wind of 11 kilometers per hour. For tomorrow, a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius. For Karibab, maximum for today is 36 degrees Celsius with the east-southeasterly wind of 11 kilometers per hour. For tomorrow, a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. And then finally for Omaruru, maximum temperature for today is 35 degrees Celsius with a southeasterly wind. And then for tomorrow, a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. Now that is your weather and tides for today and tomorrow. Now, I had an absolutely awesome time here at the Napolitana restaurant, and as you can see, this place is huge. So if you're in the mood for pasta, pizza, a drink, or you need catering services, this is definitely the place to come to. So please go check out our website at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na. For all the latest news happening here in Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, and the rest of the region, you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Erongo, or you can get in contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040. So please let us know who you'd like to see on our show on Erongo Talk, or where you'd like to see us. Another thing happening is, if you haven't answered that pop-up question, now is the time to do so, because you can win your share of $1,000 Namibian off on your next accommodation. But you need to be at the Namibian Tourism Expo that's happening from the 4th to the 7th of November in Windhoek. Another thing happening in November is our holiday supplement, which is due to be published on the 20th of November. Now, the holiday supplement tells you about what's happening here at the coast, because it's mos lekker by die see. It tells you about the variety of businesses. So if you do want to advertise in our holiday supplement, please do so now and get into contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040, and we're going to give you an awesome rate. So until tomorrow, Otis Daniels is going to join you from Walvis Bay with the latest news, Grumpy's fishing report, and the weather and tides. So until then, bye.